Our intro, like, it goes.
It goes hard in the paint, as the kids say. Do they still say that, or is that something I said as a kid?
I don't think kids still say that.
They don't. They probably, if I mentioned Waka Flocka Flame, they'd probably go, who? But I don't know. I'm old.
Dude, no word of a lie. I saw Waka Flocka Flame at a university, like, you know, it was the beginning of the year. They put on a big concert thing. There was all these EDM artists, and then Waka Flocka Flame was there.
Yeah, that tracks.
Then there's my 35-year-old ass just like, hell yeah.
And you're just like, this is what's up. I like it. I like that is how we're starting today's show. Yeah. We're not sure what time in the world it is, at what point. This is a pre-recorded interview we're doing today because we're busy people, and the month of January is full of interesting things. And so whenever this drops, thanks for joining us.
And partially because we do the show very early on Saturday mornings, and we don't want to make other people wake up at the same time we have to get up to do this. So also that. Yeah. But
hey guys, could you get up at 6 a.m. and come hang out with us? What?
But
it's for exposure. Do it. And they're exactly. Like, no.
So this is for exposure. I'm Blair. That's Pluggo.
That's me.
We're doing the damn thing today. We've got special guests.
They should bring them on as I rise it up.
I'm so hyped for these guests. So we're gonna play the intro. We're gonna get these guys on, and we're gonna talk some wrestling. And we're gonna have some fun. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Mikey.
Yeah, diamonds up. That
diamonds up, make history, leave a legacy.
I've been waiting to do that with you guys on stream since we did a blowing off stream like 6 months ago or some crazy. It was a long time ago.
That was a while ago.
Too long.
Yeah. Too long. You guys were getting it back there to that intro. How do you feel about it?
I love it. Hype. You guys bring the energy.
It's just like a good entrance song for a wrestler, a good entrance song for your podcast can set the tone.
Absolutely, it can. So we're joined by two of my favorites. We've got half a dynasty here.
Mikey, I like how he said my favorites, our favorites, bro. Come on.
Hey, where's your dynasty shirt? I bought one.
It's coming for you, player.
There's that's fair. I need to get one. The exchange rate, the Canadian exchange rate for the United States, it's, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to get one now. Jesus, Blair, way to put me on the spot. Start this interview over.
There you go.
Okay, deal.
We are joined by Dynasty, Mikey Truth, Jackson Roy. Guys, how are things going?
Good. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it is. It's 2025 officially. We're 10 days into this thing as of the recording. That's kind of where I wanted to start. I don't know what Blair had in mind. I'll let him go next, but I think what a perfect way to ask. How was 2024 for Dynasty? What stood out to you guys as like the crowning achievements when you look back and go, yep, that was it? Or a few things, if you can't nail it down to one.
Jackson, go ahead. You can start.
Definitely, I know Mikey knows what I'm going to say. Definitely our debut at GCW. That's definitely the moment that stands out to us. Just because it was so unexpected. We did not know what we were going to do on that show until 6 o'clock that morning. 6 o'clock that morning, we found out that we're wrestling Violence is Forever for the tag team titles. And like that was just like unbelievable experience for us. It was in our hometown as well, Toronto. And we came out, the crowd was hot, the diamonds were up. It was just a great moment. And just to have that experience with Mikey Truth and Sway and D Smith supporting us in the crowd is one of my favorite moments of 2024.
Ooh, yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that right there. But just overall, like I feel like the year 2024 was just an elevating year for us to just kind of like stamp our name on the scene of like, yo, we're here, take notice, and this is where the takeover begins. for me, definitely IWS, that ladder match at IWS, and just the overall run that we've had with IWS and the various different promotions we had throughout the season of 2024 is giving us the platform to just tell our story and express ourselves as talents individually and as collectively at Dynasty. But that ladder match, first time ever for a bunch of us as collective tag teams, and man, just we knew that was a defining moment because it was to make memories that's going to last a lifetime. It was the anniversary, you know what I mean? Like, man, that was that time to just stamp and prove Dynasty's here forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible watching you guys just continue to grow and just build the Dynasty brand, because I mean, you see it with what you guys have done with IWS, getting that opportunity with GCW. And I mean, facing off against a team like Violence is Forever. I mean, you see what those guys have done singles. You see what they've done as a tag team. You've seen what they do as wrestler, for wrestling as a whole with training and all of that stuff. So, I mean, you get to step into the ring with them, and after the match, I mean, you can kind of gauge what you guys need to do to keep pushing yourselves. What was that realization like for you after the matchup? You guys stepped foot. What was the feelings afterwards, getting that opportunity and knowing what you guys need to do going forward?
Just the feeling of just we've come so far, and that was a moment that we didn't believe was gonna happen. But look, from where we started to then, I feel like it was a very proud moment for us. And after the match, I just felt this could happen. We've been putting in so much work. We can be on these main stages. We can be on these big shows. I feel like our brand, Dynasty, has really connected with so many people to the point where they want to see us in these big matchups, see us on these big stages. So the main feeling that I got after that match was we're here now. We can go in there and we can hang and we can put on a great performance in front of these huge crowds and in front of these main stages.
Mm-hmm.
Did the violence last forever, or does it go and I say that in a joking way, but you watch those two work and they are incredible, and it's but it's a different vibe when you step in the ring with them, right? Was that your toughest opponents? Did you feel it afterwards? Does it feel as painful as it looks as a spectator when I'm watching that going, oh my God, Garini is twisting him up in a pretzel? That can't feel great.
It does, man. They hit really, really hard.
Okay.
Violence is definitely forever with them, we went in there, we had a little back and forth. They actually attacked us in the beginning of the match. I was like, what's up with that?
Right. Hey, listen, I'll say it for you. You don't have. They were scared. They knew.
They heard that crowd.
I heard that crowd. They knew. I was watching. Yeah, they knew.
It was shifted.
Exactly. But yeah, they hit hard, but they're definitely where they're at is they deserve it, man. They put in the work. They are just great guys, great wrestlers, and it was just such a great experience going in there with them and just testing ourselves against guys like Violence is Forever.
Very cool. Very cool.
I really like that it was, a hometown thing for you guys, getting that opportunity in Toronto. That's a memory right there, because you're always going to know that pop when the music hits. You guys walk out and the crowd is going nuts. They got the diamonds up and they're showing their support. I absolutely love that for you guys.
Yeah. And you said you found out about that at 6 a.m. that morning. So my phone is not on at 6 a.m. in the morning. Did you miss the call and call them back, or did you go, who's calling so early? You're like, yep, we'll be there, because that's an early call time.
Well, luckily, I'm a bit of an insomniac.
Okay, so it worked out in your favor this time.
On my way of coming down the crash down, I catch the message, and we have our group chat, so we're just shooting it to each other immediately in the morning.
Very cool.
And it's one of those things where it's the reality check is hitting you, where it's okay, you got to be prepared for anything at any time. because an opportunity where you can showcase yourself in front of the whole wide world on a major stage, on a major platform for a major player promotion can call in the middle of
any time, literally,
literally anytime. So you got to be able to get up and go and perform on a high level. And it goes back again to, as you guys said at the top, where everything I feel like just happens within the universe, and it's the energy that you put in. From day one, from training, from when we met each other, we were very honest and blunt with what we wanted in this pro wrestling journey as individuals and as a team. And we knew that we don't have the cosigns. We're not the prototype of a pro wrestler. We know all the odds are going to be stacked on us. So we have to do 10 times more of the work than all our other peers in the room and in this scene alone to overcome and elevate our name and stand out and be undeniable. And that's one of the key things with Dynasty is our core motto is to be undeniable. And that's going to set you away from the pack. And I feel like that's been the fire and fuel for us since then. And that's what's positioned us to be in these big high scale matches. It even happened in IWS when you got the call and we were facing TDT and Sexy Beast. That was a last minute situation.
No.
So that's what a lot of people don't understand, that a lot of these things that we get put in these positions, it's our backs against the wall. And if we fuck it up now, we never coming back.
I appreciate that Mikey saved the swearing for after the 10-minute mark so we don't get demonetized.
You know what I mean? I know the game.
He's a pro. He's a pro.
Yeah.
You mentioned IWS and you mentioned, that spot came on. You guys have become quite the mainstays in the IWS tag division, and it is absolutely loaded, and you guys are one of the focal points. What's that like? What is that locker room atmosphere like? I've heard some other IWS mainstays talk about how it's everybody's but the tag division specifically seems very hungry and cutthroat. And every time you guys have a match, you go out, and I'm always leaving that match going, that tag match ruled. Mm-hmm. So is that like a group effort amongst the tag division specifically? How's that going?
Like the atmosphere at IWS is beautiful. It's one of those things where it's uplifting. Everybody's going there, and we know every match is the main event, and we go in there, we know that we're gonna uplift each other in this match, and we're not doing this just for ourselves. We're not doing this just for selfish reasons. We're gonna show out together, and as we elevate each other, we elevate this division. And that's been one of the key things that I've learned at IWS. I'm so happy of being on this journey throughout IWS and our time at IWS, because we grew as a tag team. We learned how to work for TV, for pay-per-view, in last-minute crucial decisions against experienced talent, against some of the new future talent that they have coming up. You know what I mean? So we have been like their middle childs in a sense that have been brought in, and we knew as kind of outsiders still that we can't mess this up here, because we have to leave a precedent. We have to leave a statement, because it goes back home for Ontario. It goes back home for battlers. It goes back home to all the talent that are going to be coming up after us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, blessings for IWS and just thankful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like IWS, like I always say, they have a great locker room. Everyone there is like cheering for each other, rooting for each other. They want everyone to succeed. Like they do a huge huddle before every show. Like Mikey said, they say, every match is the main event. So I just love going out there because they just all support each other. And I think a lot of locker rooms need that. I think a lot of locker rooms need that camaraderie. They don't need that whole like selfishness. Like everyone needs to come together and make sure that the show is gonna run smooth and everyone has a great experience. So IWS, the locker room is great. I love it.
Now, I mean, we got one half of Dynasty here, but I wanted to talk about the other half, what it's like working with D Smith, what it's like working with Sway Archer, because you all bring something different to the table. You're all allowed to use your strengths, allowed to grow and feed off of each other. So what's it like working with those two guys?
I'll talk about D Smith first. D Smith, like me and him have come a long way. D Smith was actually my first ever opponent. My first ever match I ever had in the pro wrestling ring was with D Smith, and he's grown so much from then. Like back then, he was known as Sexy Stan, and he's changed himself to D Smith, a master strategist, and having him in the group really is, it's a great experience because like he's been doing this longer than both of us, and he's definitely helped us when it comes to like being in the ring and putting together stuff, putting together this part of the match, that part of the match. He's very, very smart when it comes to that aspect of pro wrestling. So I guess that's why he calls himself the master strategist. But like he's a great asset to our group, and we really hope that in 2025 we can do more stuff with him. And we also hope that in 2025 he kind of finds his own pathway and shows the world who the master strategist is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is at the end of the day with Dynasty. It's beyond just the team and the tag team aspect. What our whole core thing is bringing back the Freebird rules. And
yes.
It's like a Rolodex. You don't know what combination of Dynasty you're going to get, but you know you're going to get entertainment, fire, intensity, and just pure high-level performance when we're in that ring. And like Jackson said, D Smith was an addition to us, but it was Sway Smith Sway Archer that came in before D Smith. Sway Archer was the third addition to Dynasty, and Sway Archer and D Smith have more experience than both of us. They were basically more the first generation in the sense of battlers of the students that were coming up. And during their pathway, they were finding themselves as singles stars. And I feel as Dynasty grew as a brand, it helped build that fire with them to find themselves as well. Sway Archer, as you know, very talented as a gear maker. He's been doing a lot of work for a lot of the top stars, and WWE, etc. But he's a skillful, very skillful, and technical for sound wrestler. And that is what we want to showcase even more in 2025. Not only in a tag team division or in trio division aspects, but as a singles wrestler, showcasing the dynamic that Sway Archer is the culture king. And then, all of us together as a group, including our stateside connection with Xavier Walker, the big powerhouse. Man, we just want to be able to showcase our brand as Dynasty as a whole and take people on the journey individually and being able to tell that story.
Like with the group of you, how difficult is it to like align bookings so that like all of you like are able to get on the same page with stuff? Because with 4 different people, it has to be tough with different schedules, and like you guys all have lives outside of wrestling.
I see it like this: we are very close knit on communication. We're very, very critical on being very clear on whether if Jackson gets a booking, he messages the group chat. If I get a booking, I message the group chat, and we let each other know what's going on. Sway or D Smith have something going on, depending on which pockets of the territories that they're attacking at. They relate to the group, and then we organize from our schedule from there. I try and make like a little list throughout the chart of the year, and then I just plug and play from there from what we organize at that point in time. But our game plan at it is that kind of like seek and destroy. If they ain't going to take us as a group, we're going in individually, and we're going to break those walls down, and then we bring the next man in.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yes, we know this is a selfish game. Yes, it's an eat dog world, a dog eat dog world. But we know that the power of a brand and together will elevate each other at the same time. And if we can get in there as an individual, we're just as strong to stand 10 toes down and entertain the masses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we know that like even like let's say I get a singles match, Mikey get a single match, Sway or Derek, we're all representing the brand at the end of the day. Whether we go out there and we have the announcer say representing Dynasty, we're always making sure that we're always representing the brand. Whether we're in singles matches or we're doing scrambles or whatever, we always make sure the brand is being represented.
Like the best way I explain to people that are the wrestling fans is like look at Dynasty as if it's like a record label, like Wu-Tang or Golf Bang with Tyler Creator. You know what I mean? We had that going on where you had so much individual personalities within a brand, and they all told their own story. ODB had his own story. Method Man had his own story. You name the rest of the group, they all were their own strong personalities. And then when they came together as a force, it was untouchable.
Yep. That's awesome. You can be your own person. We come together. We're Dynasty. I couldn't find the picture while you were talking about it. You mentioned Sway and his gear making ability. Sway's gear making ability is so top notch that our own Zach Ralph rocked his pants that he won in that bet. What did you guys think of Zach? Now I couldn't find the picture, and he's gonna kill me for asking. But what did you guys think of the look in Sway Archer's pants from our own Zach Ralph?
Yeah. I see it and it's sick because the way that Sway Archer's designing, he's making it to transition to even mainstream culture. So you're able to even rock it, in your regular day. If you're just chilling at home, it's still swaggy and you're just dripping. So he's rocking it, he got the Culture King swag to him.
Yeah.
Up for them.
Zach, those are his formal pants. I have it on good authority that he wears those on formal events.
I definitely need to see the picture, but I'm sure if it's coming from Sway that it's definitely swaggy, definitely top.
I'll have to find it, but Zach did a bet with Sway. I can't remember the logistics of it at this point, but he ended up with a pair of Sway Archer's pants that he made, and he wore them in a picture, and I was just like, "Yep."
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
I've sent out a message to try to track this down. If we can get it in the next 30 minutes or so, I will put it up on screen for all of us.
Please, man. He has to go on a night on the town and just rock those, man.
Now, I don't usually ask this, but you made some really good points when you guys mentioned, like Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man, everybody kind of comes together. Is this also a group that professionally pushes each other? Like I always say, like in my neck of the woods here, like if Blair were to get a really cool interview, like I'm not jealous I'm just like professionally like, oh man, that's pretty cool. Are you guys pushing each other in that sense as well?
Of course.
Always.
Every day.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like to hear that there's like some competitiveness as well, but it's all love, right?
We are criticize each other. We're very open and telling each other, like, what am I lacking? What do I need to step up for the team? What is missing? What do we need to do as a collective to get to the next level? What do we need to do as individuals to get to the next level? You know what I mean? Like when we send out feelers to different promotions and bookers and we don't get a message back and we know they see the message.
Mm-hmm. Get left on red.
And it's like, yo,
preach on that.
And it's like, we got what is it that we got to do to stand apart from the pack? And we are very blunt and open to each other. You need to work on this. You need to add this. Maybe you need to expel and tell more about your character at this promotion. Maybe you need to focus on one promotion to tell your story. You know what I mean? Instead of jumping all over the place and you're just being used however they want to use you. Maybe you need to just focus on explaining to the masses or to a certain demographic or territory, this is who Mikey Truth the Lionheart is. This is who the Takedown King is, Jackson Roy. And whatever storyline you're working there, you showcase that with the content that you're putting out online and you're selling yourself all over the place and use social media in the digital age that we are in to your advantage. And from there, I think that just parlays and just compound interest to different pockets of the city, different promotions, different promoters, starting to feel more comfortable, and then it just works out from there. So we're never, in a sense, we're like, oh, why didn't I get this? Or why didn't you get this? No, because that's what the division and that's where some of your competition want to happen. Mm-hmm. So if you just keep it blunt and honest since day one, this is our goal. What is your individual goal? What is our collective goal? And how we're going to get there? And we can reconvene this in 6 months, a year, 3 months, or wherever you feel you're frustrated at. We have that open discourse and we're good to go.
Absolutely. Like I always say, like, we're all here to help each other out. We're all here to help each other grow. We all know our strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And we, like Mikey said, we have that group chat. So if there's anything that we think we're lacking in, we have the next member to come and help us out, whether that be promos, being in the ring, networking. We're all there just to help each other, and just be undeniable altogether.
Yeah, even after our matches, like we'll sit down and we'll chat, or even when we're going over and putting together our matches and thinking what we need to do or add into the match, we'll have conversations. D. Smith, strategist, he'll strategize and structure different methods. Maybe you should keep this or add this or showcase this side of you tonight. Sway will be like, okay, maybe this doesn't, because Sway is very brilliant on structure and match structure and placement. So he'll break certain things down and structure any type of match style, and he'll make it make sense in a way, you know what I mean? And then we also take gems from some of the mentors and guys that are in the locker room, obviously, that gives feedback to us. But within our core group, it's plug and play. From the moment you give me a gem, I'm collecting, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think, you know, like for any young wrestler like out there, or just, you know, whether they're training or anything, like the talking throughout the match, like, you know, planning the match and all that, just the discourse back and forth, you can learn so much from that, like, you know, even just hearing other people, what they're talking about, just to, you know, kind of keep things, I don't want to say fresh, but know that there's other options out there. And like, yeah, this might be a great idea, but maybe not at this opportunity, you know, just to be able to learn in that aspect is something I think that doesn't like get enough, you know, talked about enough, just to how much you can learn from that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the benefit of the group that we're in. We're very blunt and honest, especially Sway. But we're very blunt and honest to each other. So, and we kill each other's egos, and we don't have egos to begin with. You know what I mean? So it's like we're very grounded individuals and open to opinions. So, for instance, I'm very good at creating moments, memorable moments. If like we're going over a match, especially tag matches or trios matches, whatever in our team, I'm very quick. Let's see. Oh, I know this will work. It's gonna be a last impression. It's gonna be an emotional impression that's gonna work for the crowd. Then Jackson be like, "Yo, come here, dog. Why are we doing this?"
That's true. That's true.
Why are we doing this? So where does it make sense? And then Sway would be like, okay, the structure of this match. And he's not only structuring what we're doing in the match, but he's structuring all the other moving parts in the match. And then D. Smith is strategizing the game plan of how things are effective in the match, where to keep things or where to place things, you know what I mean? And then that has helped us throughout the years all be smarter when we go into our solo matches. We're taking bits and parts of what we've learned from each other into our individual journeys.
That answer just makes me realize that, Jackson, how many times have you told Mikey, we can't do that? You can't jump off that. We can't do that spot. How many times you got to rein him in? Based on his answer, it feels like a few times.
It's been a couple of times here and there, you know. But yeah, like
I don't go too crazy. And then on top of that, the big experience factor that we have with Xavier Walker, when Xavier Walker's in town, or hopefully when we're more stateside, he brings us reels it in. He's like, yo, guys, you guys did amazing, but this is how we can take it to the next level. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is how it's going to transcend to this crowd, and work in this crowd. And that's the beauty of it, I feel, with all of us, right?
Yeah, like we all like help each other collectively. But yeah, back to your question.
You're just trying to take it off me. Take the lashes off me.
But no, like I'm just very like when it comes to like putting matches together, I like things to make sense. I'm very like into the psychology and like that part of wrestling. So yeah, like, you know, but Mikey, like him having the moments really has helped me as well. Playing together matches, because like those matter, the moments matter. You want to leave a great impression. You want the crowd remembering your match, and you get that through the moments, right? So me and Mikey definitely help each other in those aspects of pro wrestling. But yeah, like a few times, but like it's always a good experience just like sharing knowledge with Mikey.
But that's always good, like, to bounce ideas off of each other. Of course, like, yeah, why not shoot for the moon and then have somebody go, well, maybe we can shoot for the moon, but let's do it this way.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it works out.
I want to take this time because we have tracked down the picture.
We did it. To the point where we harassed the bosses to be.
I know he was shaking it. He's like, no, freedom.
Oh, man.
Again, I don't know the stakes of the bet. I don't know how the transaction happened, but those are Sway Archer originals on our own Zach.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Rate the fit 1 to 10.
Bruh, that's a 10. Look at their runner track keys.
That's
a 12.
I'm gonna give that a 9.
Is that honorary member of Dynasty worthy? Like he could fill in on a night that you needed a third.
It says
as soon as those show lights hit those pants, it's gonna be dancing.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
We're definitely getting fired after this one.
We're getting in trouble for that
This
one.
is going to be the last ever we do on this channel.
So we'll save that picture though for future use.
Oh,
I gotta ask because Mikey, you mentioned social media, and I know that is something that you absolutely excel at with the videos, the promotion, all of that. There are so many young wrestlers out there who have like their, social media imprint is very like minimal. If you're offering up advice to them, what are you telling them? Maybe not giving them all the secrets, but if you're going to try to help them out a little bit, help them up their game, what are you telling them?
Who cares what everybody thinks about you posting? That's number one.
Facts.
That's so now.
Hey, listen, I've always maintained that content in any form or anything like that is always subjective.
Yeah.
If you're worried about what other people think about what you're putting out, you'll never put anything out.
Yeah.
You got to put it out and let them judge it. So yeah. I love that.
What everybody thinks.
That's right.
What your heart and your if your mind and your heart tells you to do something, follow it. Follow it. My dad always says, listen to your conscience. Your conscience speaks to you for a reason. And I always have followed that my whole life, and it's never led me astray. It saved my life in situations, and it's helped me be in some very important people's eyes. And I tell you this, that's the number one thing. Cares what anybody thinks, post your content, especially if you're working somewhere consistently. Thank God for places like Crossbody. Thank God for places like IWS, where these have been monumental places for Dynasty, for us to tell our story as a brand, as a group, as individuals. People were able to follow feuds, big championship wins, big championship losses, etc. They were able to follow as we were to explain, this is who we are as a brand, and use that content and showcase that online. Share it on your Twitter, share it on your TikTok, share it on your Instagram feeds, your stories. Constantly do that. If you need to, shadow tag a little promotion you like.
Yeah.
And it might get your attention. That's one key gem. I'm not telling you no more. That might get certain people's attention, get their eyes to turn to you and be like, okay, what are they doing? Okay. And then before you know it, it's a snowball effect. Don't just post it up for just the hot weekend that you're working, because 2 weeks from now, you're forgotten within the massive thousands and thousands and millions of other wrestlers that are posting on social media right now. So that's one of the main things right there.
Main thing I always say to Mikey, and we tell everyone, is like, you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching your content. So just put it out there and just make sure it's the best content you can do, because people in higher positions could be watching. You never know.
I can tell you that for certain. Everything I do, I'm like, wait, I can't believe someone saw that. Some of the things that happen, that's crazy.
You got me hooked up now. You got me
hooked up. You guys got me fired up. I'm ready to run through like a wall.
People won't like your posts. People won't like your posts. But if you go in your insights and watch your analytics, you'll be surprised by the demographic of people that are watching, especially your non-followers that are watching. Why
I always tell people don't chase likes and chase views, because then you're in it for the wrong reasons. Just do like you said, do what you can every day. Like, post as much as you're comfortable with, but try to level up. Is like, do better the next day, and that's what I always try to tell people. And you guys mentioned Crossbody, and I wanted to ask, because Ben Ortman's is kind of, he said he made an announcement. He's kind of on the tail end of things. And how instrumental was Crossbody for you guys as a promotion? It was a weekly episodic thing. It was more TV based. Did you guys learn some tricks of the trade? How did that come to be, and how was it for you guys?
I feel like definitely Crossbody was a saving grace for any local independent talent, that whether you're in the GTA region, whether you're in Hamilton, Cambridge especially, that was a prominent opportunity to showcase yourself and learn within a roster and a pool that was ever changing over the course of the season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting talent that were coming from Montreal. You're getting a talent that were coming from Buffalo. You're getting talent that were at the Ballard Academy kids that were coming up as well. All of us that are coming up. So you had a nice pool, and then you had your homegrown Cambridge kids that are at a Crossbody. So you had a nice little gumbo pot of talent to just mix it up with. And those 2 seasons of Uproar were amazing, because that definitely gave the confidence, especially if you were to utilize the content that you got, for other promotions and other bookers from different parts of the world, wherever you were going to sell yourself, to have the confidence in booking, because they can see that you're working somewhere consistently. On top of the fact that Speedball Mike Bailey and Vader Scott are doing the comments.
Mm-hmm. Right? That's got to be pretty cool. Have them calling your matches.
Exactly. And if you are networking and you make the right connections and you're in the right places, like what we were doing, you're going to be with Speedball Mike Bailey. You're going to be in person with Speedball Mike Bailey. And Speedball Mike Bailey, the beautiful thing about this man, thank God I love you, brother, because he will give you feedback on your matches. He will take the time. He took the time for us in his moments to give feedback on what we need to do, what we need to work on.
Sorry to cut you off, but he would do it like right before he would have a match. Right before he would have a match, he would just take the time just to give us any pointers or any like tips or any advice about our match. So shout out to Speedball for that.
Big thank you to Speedball and Vader Scott, because they're so busy. They're one of the most busiest talents and commentators in this game today. And for them to take the time to give back to just local Ontario talents, oh man, I'm thankful for that. So since day one, I knew how special Crossbody was. And the thing with me, I'm always on top of the independent scene. I'm always watching wrestling. I'm always on top and sharing stuff to these guys. So I always knew how special Crossbody was. So even when they were doing showcases, when D. Smith was still just joined fresh in Dynasty, I told Derek, go to Crossbody and tell your story on who D. Smith is. Because now the Sexy Stand thing is over. You're now part of Dynasty. We're in different pockets and different territories of the Ontario GTA scene. Crossbody has this showcase. Get a little matches in there. Tell a little bit about you, and then we'll come in there, and then we'll take off from there. And that's what happened.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. I know, like one of the things I love, Crossbody having their shows up on YouTube. Talked about social media. I just wanted to add, like, if you're a wrestler out there, put your matches up on YouTube. It is such an important thing for yourself, for promotions, even for like Joe Schmoes like me and Pluggo. Yeah. We want to talk to guys or talk to wrestlers. Like, we want to be able to like go off of something. Upload your matches, please.
It's so much easier to be like, hey, listen, we'd like to have you on our show. Here's our body of work. Yeah. Than, hey, take a shot in the dark. And I mean, I used to doom scroll YouTube just looking for matches and local promotions around my area. Now that I've gotten much deeper into the independent scene as the years have progressed, it's a lot easier to find. But yeah, that's how I started. You just, oh, hey, this person wrestled in my town before I knew what independent wrestling was. So yeah, you never know who's going to stumble. I love that. Just put it out there.
Like I always make sure that as soon as we get our match, I make sure I just upload it to YouTube. I put full match, Dynasty versus so. Like I said earlier, like, you don't know who's watching, who's going to stumble across your matches, and it's just so good to have your matches up so that you can like share to promoters, you can share to wrestlers. Sometimes maybe the wrestler wants to study, like a wrestler you've not wrestled before, they want to study your matches, so you can just send them a link. So the easiest way to do that is have it on YouTube. So I always make sure I have our matches on YouTube so that people can watch.
And again, it goes even down to the promotions. Like, we're in this digital age, promotions, like, y'all got no excuse, dog.
None.
Right, and you say that in a cocky way, but you're not wrong. Like, it's easy. It's right here. I could, while doing this, I could do, on my phone and have it out there for the world to see. And that was part of the reason that we started this show, Blair and I, was we wanted to help put more independent wrestlers and have faces on YouTube and content and tape, literally for the exposure. So it's cool to see that you guys are taking that as well and realize it, because you never know. You just never know.
That's what I'm trying to say, is like, thankful for platforms like for exposure. Various different, the evolution of podcasting has helped pro wrestling too. And I feel like the fact that WWE now is on Netflix is going to wake up and shake up this whole industry. Realize how powerful streaming and online has ever been, because you've been having your shows on YouTube and using the YouTube streaming services, been embracing these podcasts and these platforms, because this puts exposure and expands your brand as a whole. This has helped us utilizing the internet, tapping in with podcasts, and just being a personal person, being a good person, and respecting your production team that's at the shows, because they will give you the matches, dog.
The one thing I forgot to say is the production team at Crossbody, like, amazing guys. They do so much good work for Crossbody, and like, they're just incredible. As soon as you want your match, they're just like, hey, here, boom, take it, do what you can with it. So those guys are great guys, and like, we're definitely grateful for them, and we're always happy to see them. Even at other shows, they're not just at Crossbody. They go all over the scene in Ontario to film the show, produce the show. So they're putting in the work.
Very cool. Now, it's getting close to the time that we allotted for you guys, and says we don't want to keep you too long, but we talked about 2024 at the beginning. Now we're into 2025. What's the goal? What's the goal? What's the dream match of 2020? What are we trying to do here?
The goal is more gold, but more importantly, stateside. We want to take this brand and be able to travel, not only stateside, but different parts of Canada. We're like, man, I have my eyes on Love Pro Wrestling. Definitely want to do something like that. We definitely want to make moves. Maybe we want to make moves all around Canada, and more importantly, states, and go around the globe. And I feel like this is the pivotal time, 2025, especially at this point in our careers. We have to take it to the next level and prove that we can hang with the best in the game. We've had these big time matches, but they haven't been consistent. We want it to be consistent. We want every other month, we're going to be having a big marquee match against a top talent that's way more experienced than us, that's either on TV or has been on TV, that's working the independent scene, that's going to elevate our game as well. Or even veterans in our scene, in our local scene, that's going to elevate our game and take us to the next level. We're just hungry for that.
Yeah, like he said, like, facing guys who are more experienced than us. I always say to Mikey, like, I want the test. I want to test to see what we can do against these guys who've been in the game for 10 years, 15 years, or they're just killing the scene. I want us to have these matches consistently, just to show that, hey, we can hang in there with the best. Hey, we can put on great matches. So definitely in 2025, I want us to have these top level matches with this top talent in Ontario, or even outside Ontario, all over the world. That's what we're looking forward to doing in 2025.
Like, what we've been saying between ourselves is, like, 2025 is going to be that pivotal year, because this is the year where you have to make an impact, because it's going to be the trend-sending domino effect for the next 5 years, going into the next decade of 2030. You know what I mean? So whatever you do now is going to play off for the future. Every action now is going to have a massive effect for the future now. So we're looking to plant our seed not only as just local independent talent, but we want to be international level and, like, take it to that next level. We're more frequently on your TV screens. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I like the idea of, branching out more into Canada, because like right now I feel like Canada, with all the provinces, it's almost each province is its own territory. So you're having, Ontario, they're crushing it. Manitoba's crushing it. BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, everyone's got their own thing going on. So like, yeah, I want to see Dynasty like head out west. I want to see Dynasty against Ride or Die, Dynasty against Paraleer, Dynasty against Sinner and Saint, and Reloaded, and all these teams, like
tell them.
yes, give me Dynasty and Reloaded. We
To
just
them,
saw
Mark. To them. Awesome.
we just saw Fresh Air and
Preach,
Reloaded.
Blair, preach.
Give me Dynasty and Reloaded. They
Yeah.
will cook. Somebody book it.
Somebody book it.
There we go.
It's like we've been on since doing GCW. That was like the shot in the arm of realizing, we can really do this.
Mhm.
We can really do this. So
It
now
takes just one big moment, man.
we just want to make it consistent now. We want to be a recurring act on a major promotion, major indie promotion, somewhat on an international level, you know what I mean? And just take it there. And even open up the doors more for Toronto, because Toronto scene, it's the heart of pro wrestling. And I think more eyes need to be on Toronto,
Yes.
big talent that's here, especially this new generation, this new crop that's coming up with us. And I feel like every big match that we have, we're breaking that door and we're breaking another barrier for our people as well. So
Isn't the Elimination Chamber in a couple weeks going to be in Toronto? So maybe there'll be some major indies around that. Hopefully we'll see you guys locked and loaded, maybe fighting Reloaded on that thing. Let's go.
Make it happen.
So,
Do it.
yeah, man, it's just constant elevation. That's the goal for 2025. Beyond just championship gold, want to be a name globally.
Before we actually started recording, like we were just kind of talking, and Mikey, you mentioned WrestleMania weekend in 2024, and I want to ask on air what the experience was like for you, because I know like getting to go down there and branch out some different indies there, what that whole thing was like, because WrestleMania weekend's a big weekend. There's a lot to take in. It can be very overwhelming too. But when you're down there, how were things?
I feel like we played it very, very smart. Our journey out there, our thing was just to study the scene. Shout out Take It Easy Joey. He joined us on the journey out there as well. He's coming up on the scene as well, coming out of Battle Arts Academy, and he's making some waves out in Barry Wrestling, and love the Barry Wrestling as well. They've helped us a lot throughout the tail end of 2024. But many a weekend we went in there just to study the scene, to see what is it that we need to bring to the table stateside. How is our brand compared to the brands on a global scale on Mania weekend? And how can we sit back and see what we can add to the equation? You know what I mean? So we were studying all the promotions that were going out this week. We went out to WrestleCon, just making moves and networking with some of the talent, where we met with Sheldon Benjamin, the Fatu family, making those connections there, and just building Love Arena. We chopped it up with Zilla. So that core moment, I feel, for Mania weekend was networking. That was the beauty of it. We were able to network, and we didn't have to spend so much. We have to go broke.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Like Mikey said, like we're out there networking, but also at the same time, it was just fun, just getting to know each other even better. Like that's what you get from like these long rides. You share laughs, you share stories, and you're out here like, enjoying pro wrestling. Like we're here in this big moment, it's a big weekend. Let's us have fun. And we had a lot of fun at Wally Mania, it was hyped up there. Like that was just one of the coolest moments. We're all dancing, the crowd, and all the music was good. We got to meet some of our favorite wrestlers from growing up. Like Take It Easy Joey got to meet the Hardy Boys, which was great. Yeah. I missed Booker T. I was so close to meeting Booker T. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, but I just missed him. But we still got to see a lot of the wrestlers that we grew up on. So that was just a great experience. And yeah, it's just always good going out to Mania weekend. It's always enjoyable.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like you plan for it, but we're not planning for it in a sense of like we're just going there to just be there. No, we went there with a game plan. We went there with a game plan to network. We went to a game plan to see where we see ourselves next year. we want to be in that ring next year. We went to For the Culture. We're checking out For the Culture and studied that. Got to dance it down with Too Cold Scorpio. that embrace alone. I was like, yo, I want to be here. My entrance here next year. You know what I mean? Just getting that little cameo was fun. And like
I wasn't even there. Like I was like sitting on the side and I'm like looking, I see Mikey dancing with Too Cold Scorpio.
That's that professional jealousy we were just talking about. You were like, before we go, I have to do this. We got to all go to this side of our screens. If we could do it. You got to go this way. Yep. And then we are going to put our diamonds up for our honorary diamond member. Nope,
Woo!
Jackson, you're the wrong. Yep. Go the other way.
More.
Put your the other way towards me, Jackson.
Am I good?
You're going the wrong way. There it is. We love you, Zach. He is gonna kill me for that one.
Well, hold on. You know, I'm gonna share a little jealousy right now. The fact that everyone got to chill with Zilla last year except for me.
Yeah. You didn't get to see. I got to meet Zilla, and the first thing I said to him was, "My co-host Blair is gonna be so mad."
Son.
Oh my gosh, what a time.
Guys, like I honestly I'm very appreciative that you two were able to take the time to join us here on For Exposure. Like it's been incredible watching you guys continue to grow, continue to build yourselves, and just seeing the positive imprint all four of you are leaving on professional wrestling, not just here in Canada, but in North America.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That means a lot. Trust me.
You know, truly, it means a lot. We've gone through a lot of bullshit on this journey, so like,
Blair goes, "We're going to talk to Dynasty this week," and I said, "Hell yeah!" Like,
thank you.
Don't even ask, just bring them. But on that note, friends, tag your stuff, plug your stuff, let everybody know where they can find you guys, and we'll get you wrapped up and get you out of here.
You can catch me. I am Mikey Truth on all social media. Just throw it in, Mikey Truth. I'm gonna pop up on there, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever. It's Blue Sky. Shout out Blacksmith. Blacksmith love the little low-key secret kit jerseys. Collaboration with Sway Archer and Blacksmith Apparel. Catch Sway Archer Wrestling Apparel as well for all your needs there. And Diamonds Up Dynasty.
Yeah. You can catch me at Jackson_Roy on Instagram, Twitter, JacksonRoy26 on TikTok. On TikTok, I just be posting wrestling stuff. You're not going to catch me doing no TikTok dances. You can also find me on Pro Wrestling Tees. We have our Dynasty t-shirts up there, as well as Takedown Season, Takedown King shirts I have up there. And like I said earlier, just find my YouTube at Jackson Roy. I put Dynasty matches up there, highlights, promos, and full matches. So you can go ahead and follow that and just follow the journey of Dynasty.
Yeah, we got some matches top of 2025 too. We got PWO, Pro Wrestling Ontario, those Trios Championship, Dynasty versus the Foundation. We also got Top Tier Wrestling, Dynasty versus 440s, or what's left of 440, Brother Deconstruction. And we got NCG, where the Godfather will be appearing on that as well. That's happening February 22nd. February 22nd will be our NCG debut. But the war continues with KPK, Dynasty versus Karu and Ahmed of KPK. And all the best for 2025. Thank you, For Exposure. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, Pluggo. I love you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
I think that was the perfect way to wrap things up. You
Great history. Leave a
you guys know where to find. You guys know where to find myself and Pluggo. On that note, thank you so much to Dynasty. Thank you so much for watching. We're out of here for this week. Peace in the streets.
Peace.